Hello, creators. How are you guys? It's great to hang out with you again for another Video Creators podcast episode and live stream. Today, we want to talk about how to make money on YouTube faster, because some of you guys need it ASAP with everything going on. I know I've had friends who have lost their jobs across like every industry, every field. It's not like it's just a couple industries. Like I am hearing about it more and more from different people and other people who haven't yet but think they only got another week or two left. And I hope that's not you, but if it is you, we want to help you get that YouTube channel up and going quickly, mostly by focusing on your questions. You guys have a lot of different things going on with your channels. And so Delana and Lennon are both YouTube strategists here on my team. They're both here with me. And together we want to answer as many of your questions as we can so you guys can get more money faster on your channel, whether that's growing your business, whether that is like starting from zero, or that is like, how do I integrate sales better into my content? Or how do I develop a product in the first place? Like whatever we can help you with, that's what we want to do here, revolving around answering your questions around that. And so if you have questions like that, make sure you leave them in the chat. We have Eric from Modern Day Tech as our moderator again, and he will be taking your questions that are relevant to that topic and putting them in front of us. And we will be doing our best to answer as many of them here for you as we can, assuming he doesn't lose his power because he's in the middle of a thunderstorm. So let's hopefully that all works out well. So before we dive in, though, we want to first kind of bring you guys up to speed on some updates that are happening on the YouTube platform right now. As YouTube continues to grow and change, we think it's important as creators that we stay on top of all this stuff. And perhaps before we do that, even, Lennon and Delana, how are you guys?
Great.
They're like, yeah, Tim, you're way off schedule right now.
No.
Don't worry, the podcast audience won't know any difference because I'll edit this all to be correct.
That's right.
So
the beauty of the edit. See, it's just the way it goes
magic.
down.
Yeah. How you guys doing, Lennon, over there in Kansas, Missouri?
Well, yeah, Kansas,
Border.
Missouri. Well,
Yeah.
we're doing well. We had a stressful weekend. The like confinement, I think, is getting to us. Actually, this very topic is sort of getting to us. And so we've been under a crunch. I actually lost a number of gigs, because of all this stuff. So a lot of that has found us in a crunch. And so my wife and I have been doing a lot of planning on these types of things for both of our personal businesses as well. And but overall good. We had a nice little Easter, and I got enough Reese's to choke a horse, and so I'll be fine.
Is that part of your plan with the Reese's?
Well, we don't have any horses here. I do live in an apartment complex, but if I can lure one in, it might help me to just take out some of this aggression, this like pent up energy I have.
I'm curious why that's where your mind went, though. Your mind could have gone anywhere. You're like, I want to choke a horse. That I think is indicative of the situation we now find ourselves in. This is what happens when
I'm from the Ozarks, Tim. Like, middle of nowhere, Missouri, Arkansas. These kind of phrases just flow. It's like a fountain of knowledge of Ozarkian baloney in here, so it's fine.
I thought you were going to say a fountain of nonsense.
That works as well, yes.
Is there, what's going on in Texas? Delana?
Oh, we choke horses every day down here in Texas.
Really? Oh, man, it's getting brutal. I'm glad. I can see we got Dahlia from Chickenlandia. At least we're using horses and not chickens here. At least she's in the chat, though. She's saying, that's messed up. LOL.
It's a joke, guys. Just a joke. Figure of speech.
I feel like there are worse phrases said around these parts.
That's true.
But,
yeah. How have you been doing, Delana? You and Sam?
I'm finally, actually, because, I'm an introvert, so I love the alone time. Like, the less socializing, I'm like living my best life. I'm like an outgoing introvert. So I'm like this weird hybrid, but because if you meet me, talk to me, like I'll talk, but I also really love my alone time, but I'm getting to the point where I'm going a little stir crazy. I was like just went and walked randomly around our apartment complex to just be out. And yeah, but also my husband and I are in the process of buying a house, so it feels like everything's moving very slowly. It's like one step. I don't know, it's very exciting. Also slightly nerve-wracking to be buying a house around this time, but very exciting. But also just kind of like, since nothing else is going on, I like really want all of this to move forward. So yeah, that's my life right now.
Yeah, well,
pretty good.
You wait till quarantine's over, you get some more help to help you move. That's always worth it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious though, are you an outgoing introvert or are you an opinionated introvert?
Oh, is there a difference?
I don't know. I was just thinking, so like some people are like super outgoing and love being around people, but need their breaks. So they're like more extroverted, but some people are like more introverted, but they have opinions, so they can talk a lot. I don't know. I'm kind of making this up.
Oh, I would say I'm outgoing.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, I'm opinionated as well, but I definitely have some strong opinions.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna hopefully use some of those here today.
Well, I was gonna say, like, when those of us that have opinions, you've just fed into it, Tim, by paying us to use them. So
yeah,
that's right. I mean, that's how I'm making a living. Although hopefully there are less opinions now and more facts.
Oh,
right.
On everything we've seen, but yeah, so cool. Before we dive into talking about all your questions about making money on your YouTube channel and ramping that up, you guys ask your questions now because we are going to spend all of our time. I don't have like a whole bunch of notes and things. So you guys are in the live chat. Ask your questions now. Get them in front of Eric from Modern Day Tech, and he will put those in front of us. So while you guys are doing that, though, let's dive into some news, some updates happening on YouTube, because I think as a creator, it's very important that we stay on top of what's happening on this platform. What's changing? What are competitors doing that's kind of creeping in on YouTube? And how is maybe what other people are doing impacting what YouTube is doing and the direction that they're going with different features and products and ideas? So I think it's really important that we stay on top of some of this stuff. So Delana, why don't you kind of bring us up to speed on some just high level, big picture changes happening on the platform while people are getting their questions queued up for us to dive into.
Yeah, lots and lots of things. So the first thing is, some of you may have noticed, maybe some of you haven't, that there is a monetization update regarding anything that has to do with COVID-19. So if they kind of list out some specifics here, anything that has like distressing footage of people being visibly sick, medical misinformation, pranks and challenges that revolve around COVID-19, anything, they're doing a lot of limited monetization on any videos pertaining to COVID-19, depending on the nature of them. So just be aware of that. And along those lines, there is, with COVID-19, there's an influx. So YouTube, basically, the way that they handle any issues, there's kind of the automated side of handling issues, and then there's the actual like support team side of YouTube. And so there's been, with, YouTube trying to protect its workforce and community and workers and stuff, there is an influx in automated responses and dealing with issues, but also there's a kind of, they've slowed down. It's causing some slower responses for the actual humans that are responding to, like the actual support team. So just be patient with YouTube as they're trying to, be safe and take safety precautions for their team and everything. Another thing is that you may have noticed on the YouTube app, there is now, it's not at the trending tab anymore. It's now the explore tab. And with that, this is kind of the direction that YouTube is going, to where you can, it's not just all these massive videos that are trending right now, but you can actually go and look by a bunch of different categories. There's gaming, there's fashion and beauty, news, music, all different kinds of ways that you can browse there now, which I think is pretty cool. I'm really excited about. Another
less of it's just like, here's what's popular, and here's like this is things that would be of interest to you. So it's exploring. It's kind of going the direction of like Instagram's explore tab.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Being just top videos that you might not care about. Here you go. So
I wasn't really, as a user, I wasn't really ever interested in the trending tab much, but I find myself actually going to that explore page and finding some cool stuff. So
that needs to be a conversation that we talk about one day, how to leverage explore tab for discoverability.
Ooh.
So if you're not subscribed, subscribe.
Coming at you. Yeah. Another thing. So I think there's a couple more things. The YouTube is actually limiting some of their video quality around the whole world for a month, as there has been a big influx and just a bunch of people online, a bunch of people working from home, doing video chats, live streams, everything like that. And so just to help everything run a little bit smoother, you may notice that by default, say if you upload a 4K video, it may go straight down to 1080p, and it'll play that way. But from what I can tell, they are still giving users the options. It's going to play by default in that 1080p, but they're still giving users the options to switch. But they actually have to go in and switch to a higher quality footage if they want to do that. And then the last thing is that YouTube has actually been building its own kind of version of TikTok, which is pretty cool. So you may have noticed with like the Explore tab and stuff like that, that they are emphasizing categories versus search, and I think they're going to call it shorts, or I don't even know if they have a name for it officially yet. But they'll be emphasizing categories versus search. They'll be curating overall content experiences and providing content prompts, which is everything basically that we're seeing in the Explore tab right now. But it's just going to kind of be shorter, little bingeable videos that you can thumb through, just like you would on TikTok. So, and it looks like in that they're going to be taking advantage of some of their music licensing deals, which I don't know exactly what that means yet, but it sounds exciting.
I think they're saying that we've already got these licensing deals in place because of YouTube Music. And so because of that, TikTok is like a natural thing that they can add on because they already have all the music deals to let people remix and do different things with copyrighted material inside that platform that might not be as easy to do outside of that platform.
Yeah.
So you guys been getting into TikTok at all, or not really?
I have my friend who's like really good at keeping up with trends. She came to me and she was like, you should make one of these videos on TikTok, or you should make a video like this on TikTok. I haven't actually done it yet, but I've been like watching, kind of trying to get the flow of TikTok, and there's a lot of storytelling in TikTok.
And very quick storytelling. Yeah.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Well, I think it just depends. Like, what's interesting to me about TikTok is that based on what you watch, like that's what you see. The algorithm is so good. I just mean, like, I think what I like in reference to YouTube, I think it's a little different because I feel like TikTok is way more customized. When I look at what I look at versus what my wife sees, I see none of the same stuff. Like, which is really interesting to me to think about. It's like her stuff is all animal videos and like kids doing things, and mine will be more the inspirational things or the little story clips where it's like somebody telling an actual story within their stuff. It's really fascinating to me how that lines up. So I think there's just a ton of room there to do some interesting stuff with, and not feel like just because you see something, that's all that exists. it may be that that's just what you're seeing because that's what you've viewed so far.
I think that YouTube is like they're seeing what's working and trying to keep up with.
Yeah.
Hey, Instagram stories is now a thing. Like it was Snapchat, then Instagram stories, and now there's YouTube stories. I wonder where that came from. And now we have this TikTok like feature coming on. I mean, YouTube is still pioneering and doing a lot of things. It's a way more mature platform than certainly a lot of like TikTok and some of the other stuff you see popping up now. But I don't know where the balance is between calling them like, hey, you're a little bit behind, you need to start being a trendsetter again, versus good for you for keeping up, with how things are changing and what's working and what's not working. And so I don't know. I use YouTube stories personally, like more than Instagram stories, but I think I'm probably I don't think I'm in the norm with that. Do either of you two use YouTube stories more than Instagram stories? No. Yeah, I think I am then in the norm, or I'm not in the norm with that. So
You're in the minority.
I am in the minority. There we go. Thank you.
It's like everybody's just got their own car, like I feel like YouTube is the place where you go to like take a long trip. This would be like your
that's true.
your like electric vehicle, whereas like TikTok is like the fast car. You just want to go fast and roll through a bunch of stuff really quickly. And, Instagram's the place where you like actually connect with people a little more. I just kind of see them all as sort of serving different
purposes.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting about TikTok is that there will be a song that's trending and people will literally like look up videos based on that song that's trending. And that's just a totally new concept to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. I have a TikTok. I've done one so far, and it keeps getting me new followers like every day, and I don't know why. And then I have this idea for another one, which for me, it's just going to be personal dad stuff. I'm not going to try to do YouTube education on TikTok.
Yeah.
That doesn't work on Facebook, doesn't work on Instagram very well. It's, but I have this, we're potty training our 2-year-old, and she gets so excited for me or my wife or whoever else is going potty because we all cheer her on when she finally does it and gets it in the potty. And so she will barge into the bathroom, oh, Daddy, yay! Pee-pee in the potty! And I was like, this would be a great TikTok, but it is so embarrassing. She just cheers and applauds and claps because she thinks it's the greatest thing. So I think that'll be a fun TikTok, but I'm not really ready to record that one.
Yeah, some things you just don't want to go viral, even if they are hilarious.
Yeah, so I'll just let that visual sink in instead. There you go. One quick little update too about the video quality. One of the things I think is why it's worth you guys knowing that YouTube is changing. I think we said it was 1080p quality, but it's going down to standard definition, which is 480p quality, because in order to save bandwidth, because if you start watching your videos or your viewers start telling you, hey, why do your videos look so terrible lately? Or you're watching it thinking, why is it playing in such low def? I uploaded this in 4K or HD. That's why. So I just kind of want to give you guys a heads up that YouTube's doing their part to conserve the world's bandwidth, although they don't think that's ever going to run out anytime soon. But there's a lot of countries who are like, hey, watch out, this is too much with all the extra streaming and things happening. So kind of FYI on your own videos there. Before, hold on a second, let me see here. We have some good questions coming in from you guys about making money on YouTube, and I'll give you another minute or two to do that before we dive in. First of all, though, before we do that, one final thing, one last segment for you guys is that Delana recently did a consultation with a creator, and we want to do a creator spotlight, give him a chance to kind of talk about himself a little bit, as well as share some things that he's doing now on his channel to grow it. And so this recording comes from a consultation that Delana did with him in a one-on-one 1-hour session. And Delana, you want to set this guy up before we show them a little clip from your session together?
Yeah, definitely. So this is a creator. His name is Julian, and he basically came struggling with, he's like, I feel like I've been doing a lot of keyword research, and I've even paid for advertising and stuff like that, and I'm just not getting the traction that I feel I should be getting on my channel. Like, what am I missing? And so we talked about a lot of different strategies, which he's going to share with you, kind of his big takeaways within the call. But he has a really cool channel about he has a huge heart for helping you achieve like your definition of success. So really building a career that you love, that you want to show up for, that gives you your return on investment, whether that's monetarily, whether it's just fulfillment or both. That's really what his channel focuses on. So I'm super excited for him to share with you some of his big takeaways from our call.
Sweet. Let's cut to that now.
This is Julian, and he has a channel that is all about basically helping you build your dream career, build a career that's really, really successful and fulfilling for you, whatever your definition of success is. So Julian, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about your channel and what you're struggling with coming into the consultation and what you feel like your focus is going to be moving forward?
Sure. So yeah, like you said, my name is Julian. I'm working for company called Westrom, and our whole motto is to create a better tomorrow. The division that I'm leading is really is more the university online learning element, and part of our purpose with the YouTube channel is to create more content and help really focus in on helping people build their dream careers, whatever it is that is their purpose, or feeling more passionate, excited to get up in the morning to go to work and do their best work and having that impact. In terms of coming into this consultation, we've been toying with YouTube for a few months now, being consistent sometimes, and then other times kind of letting it fall by the wayside. And coming into it, we tried paid ads, we tried different approaches. We knew we weren't getting it quite right. And rather than kind of carry on doing that for months and trying to figure it out ourselves, figured we'd go to the experts and come to videocreators.com and come with a strategy session. And so coming out of it, super clear now on where we were falling short and what things we can do to really improve our content quality, and shifting the perspective a little bit on how we're creating the content. So it's been super, super valuable. It's probably a lot more clarity than I was expecting to come out of it. I was a little bit worried or hesitant coming into it, having bought a few courses in the past, that it would be more of the same. But I'm glad that it's different to what else I've been taught and other things we've been learning, and now the path is super clear.
Awesome. What are some of the things that you feel like you're gonna specifically focus on?
I think the key element is storytelling. So bringing a storytelling element to our video content. But the other aspect of it is, optimizing our YouTube channel, our videos for the user and for YouTube. I think there were a few aspects that we were focusing on that weren't necessarily helping. And now a lot more clear on making sure that we get users to click onto our channels, but also are staying there and staying with our content because they're engaged by the story that we're telling, as opposed to just simple tips and hacks that other creators are already doing. So we haven't really been differentiating ourselves so far. So that'll be a huge element for us, I think, going forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so excited. So do you want to tell them the name of your YouTube channel, maybe the URL if you guys have one?
We don't have a URL. We're under 100 subscribers for the time being, but the YouTube channel is Westrom. Hopefully in the future you'll hear more about us because we'll be a lot bigger.
Yeah, we'll link it down in the show notes as well so that you guys can check out his channel as well. All right, well, thank you so much, Julian, for doing this. It's been great.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
If you guys want to check out his channel, there's a link in the show notes where you guys can check that out. If you guys are in the live stream, and put it in the chat, and you can follow along on his journey as he's growing. Currently 20 subscribers, and it'll be fun to see how that grows and his viewership grows, implementing some of the things that he talked about with Delana in their one-on-one session. If you'd like to schedule a session, go to videocreators.com/consulting, and you can just see our availability on our calendar right there. pick a spot, schedule yourself, and we love to talk with you and work through your first steps and how do you get past the roadblocks that you're facing. Or if you're like Julian and you're like, I just don't want to waste a lot of time, just help me get started on the right foot. We'd love to help you with that as well and really help you get that clarity that he has for his channel. We'd love to help you guys with that as well. So videocreators.com/consulting to sign up, and we will hopefully talk with you soon. So many good questions here about making money on YouTube. Let's hit as many of these as we can, and we're going to let you guys drive our conversation here. So keep the questions coming. Let's start with the super chat from Stanley7. How to make a shop store on your channel? I think he's referring to the merch shelf. That is like when you can show your merch right below your video on your YouTube channel. That is an integration between YouTube. If you just search for, I'm going to do it right now, search for YouTube merch shelf requirements. And the first solution, the first result is right at YouTube's help page here. And so to be eligible, you need to have more than 10,000 subscribers. You need to be approved for monetization. Your channel needs to be set as not made for kids or not set as made for kids. And then you need to be in the partner program. And so then you're eligible for it. And then the next step there is in the monetization section of your settings of your YouTube channel. You will have an option there to enable it. And then when you enable the merchandise, is what it's called, then you will set up an account at Teespring. Pretty sure it's Teespring. Is it Teespring? Am I just pulling that out of my butt? Nope, I'm right. Teespring. Set that up at Teespring. And that will, you set up an account there, set up all your merch and things that you want to sell there. And then once that's all done, then you go back to your YouTube channel and link your YouTube channel under that same merchandise setting. You link it to your Teespring account, and then it takes like a day or so for them to kind of sync and things get approved, and then you can pull in different products there. Then it takes another like day or so for the products that you brought into YouTube to be approved, and then you can arrange them in what order you want them to display on that merch shelf below the video, and which products you want to display first and which ones you don't, and things like that. So that's how you do that. Again, for something like that, I would just search for get started with the merch shelf on YouTube, help support, and that'll walk you through everything you need to know there. So let's go Ingrid Blackburn. Hey, Ingrid, good to see you. She's a recent Video Labs graduate from your session, Delana. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hi, Ingrid.
Yeah. She wants to know thoughts on Patreon versus channel memberships. I got some. Leonard, Delana, you guys got any thoughts?
My first thought is just that channel memberships, they don't have to leave the platform, to sign up for it, which I think is a big benefit. Other than that, I'd love to hear other thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what your, like if the extra value that you're offering for their support is extra content, you just like off your YouTube channel. I think what Delana says is spot on. This idea that like, they don't have to leave. That's good. I think Patreon in general can be great. But I think all these things, the more friction you come up with, like the more you can kind of have more things in one spot, I think the better off you are. So if you have a bunch of things that you're trying to send somebody to as the value, then maybe make sure you're doing that in one centralized location as opposed to having videos in one spot, extra content in another, and all these different places. Just try to keep it in one zone. Tim, you've done a lot more with both of these platforms, so
yeah,
probably got the most insight here.
I think I use both, or have used both. Now I mostly just use channel memberships. Patreon, I've kind of let that go. The advantage of Patreon is very flexible. You can make it do a lot of different things, a lot of different ways. It's a very robust platform with a lot of different ways to interact, engage, provide value. So if there's a certain thing that you want to do with these supporting people, And like channel memberships is kind of limited to just giving them free like content. Like you can do an exclusive live stream, or they get access to like my channel members here. You guys are here. You get access to those special badges and things like that, emojis. But Patreon is a much more robust platform, and it also has a lower fee. Channel memberships, YouTube takes a 30% cut, and Patreon takes a 5% cut. So it's pretty substantial difference there. However, I have found that people are more, they become channel members a little bit more liberally than they do Patreon, because like we said, it's an on-platform thing. It's literally just like 1 or 2 clicks if they're already there. And it's always that call to action is always in front of them. It's right next to the subscribe button on every video and in front of your channel and everywhere. So it's, you get more opportunities to pitch it. So I don't think one's right or wrong. I don't think one's better or good. I think it just depends on what, like if you're going to offer a lot of file downloads and things, you technically can do that through channel memberships, but you'll do it a lot better. It's a lot easier to do that on Patreon. So the downside to both, Ingrid, is that they're both kind of like, I'm supporting the creator so that they can continue to make the videos I want them to make. So it's both of them have this idea of, I just want to support this person rather than I am actually trying to make a transaction and buy something. I think if that's the direction you want to go, then you should probably create your own platform on your own website or something for the long run and be able to do that. You probably charge more. You get to own the customer's email address a little bit easier. You don't get that in channel memberships at all. You do get that with Patreon, but you can... so you can create the experience the way you want it to be for them on your own website. So if you're actually trying to sell something or create an actual legitimate like membership program for access to something, then I would consider something else. But if it's more of I just really want to support this person, and if I'm going to support them, I'll take the free downloads or the behind the scenes access or the whatever, then I think one of those two platforms would make more sense.
We're dealing with that with my wife because she opened up her Patreon and tried to do a community within it, but she's finding that they're not terribly active, and so she started kind of asking them like why, and they said, well, we're not here really for the community, we're here to just support. So the ones that did come in for the community, it's kind of frustrating for them because they're like, well, I'm not getting what I need fast enough. So we're actually revamping that whole thing based on that idea. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I can charge maybe $5 a month or something for Patreon or membership, and it'll convert a little bit. But if I charge like $29 for that a month on my website, it converts a lot better, which I think is because now it feels like I'm buying something as opposed to just wanting to support this creator, and I happen to get this thing that I probably don't even really want that much or would take it if they offered it, but it's not a big deal to me. So I hope that helps. Welcome to Chickenlandia. Does it have to be Teespring? I have my own merch and I created with local companies. If it does have to be Teespring if you want to integrate it with the merch shelf on YouTube. If you want to have your own merch shop with your own order fulfillment, you're going to get way better margins with that, obviously. But you'll have to do all the order fulfillment yourself. Teespring is a print-on-demand service, and doing it yourself, you have full control, you own the customer information and all of that, but you can't, it does have to be Teespring. So a couple super chats. Stanley7 again says, thanks Tim and all new guys by the 30-day program. Thank you, Stanley. Glad that was helpful for you guys. 30 Days to a Better YouTube channel is an online course you work at through your own pace, so you can go through it faster than 30 days, but it is made to give you every day a task, something or a teaching, something you need to learn, a task, something you need to do that day in your channel, and then links to further resources. And it comes with optional access to me and my team and our community of other creators who are working through this stuff together. So we're pretty proud of what we put together there, and it's been fun to see all the growth that has resulted from that for people. Also, another super chat from Country Road Entertainment. 2 years now. Use Google and Facebook advertising. Video quality isn't bad, in my opinion. Tons of shares and Google and good SEO as well. I just can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I'm trying to get back over 1K again. All right, that's a little bit not related to the topic, but I think the way he asked the question teases out a lot of things that he's investing time into that we don't really recommend. So, Lennon, you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big deal here when we get into a consult, and this isn't a pitch for a consultation, but it may be something that we could look at as far as your video is concerned. But the main thing that we say right away is that if you can't get your videos to surface without Google and Facebook ads, then the odds are the ads are not going to help you, because there's just something that you're missing in the content already. There's a connection that's missing, and the SEO is not the end all be all. Your metadata, those kinds of things, it's really about, and you hear us talk about this a lot, it's really about how is a person seeing the value that they want from the video? How are you answering the question, what's the problem here? And this is how this video is going to solve said problem. Are you answering those two questions with your title and thumbnail, getting them in, getting them to stay longer on the video, and then pushing them over to another video and doing that consistently? That's going to be a lot more valuable. So I'd say get rid of the advertisement for now. Just learn how to do your content better so it organically gets surfaced. That way you can get some real read in your analytics on what is actually happening and be able to move forward from there.
Good. Yeah, exactly it. I think you're focused on the wrong things and things that don't produce growth, but I understand why you're focusing on them. A lot of people do it. And yeah, so Lennon's exactly right. Tasting history. Do you think it's worth reaching out to brands who I feature on my channel, or should I wait for them to contact me? What do you guys think?
Ooh. Reach out. Why not? What have you got to lose?
Rejection.
Exactly. The worst they can say is no. And then what happens after that? Okay. Maybe one of them says yes, or you just continue to make the videos. But I think what's really important is that you don't, you're not going, if you reach out to a brand and they say no, you're not hurting your relationship with that brand. And I think that that's a fear that maybe you may not be consciously aware of, or maybe you are. I think we feel like, oh, if they see my channel now and they don't like it, then they're never going to want to work with me. When that's not the case, you can always reach back out to them later. Maybe they're looking for a certain amount of numbers, and then you finally reach those numbers and you want to reach back out to them. But I think what's also really important is that whenever you do reach out to them, you don't just say, hey, I want to feature, you want to pay me to have your product in my video, but more so that you reach out to them with, hey, I love your brand. This is why I love your brand. I have a YouTube channel. This is what my channel is about. This is why I feel it's a perfect fit. This is what I want to do. What do you say? Is this something that you're interested in coming together on? And could we talk about this? And that way you're kind of prompting them. It's not just this blanketed, this could be anything, but you're actually you're almost like planting a seed in their head of what this could be, and they can decide whether they feel that's valuable to them or not.
Shane, ASMR in the chat said, I got rejected by 7 companies, and then one paid me £350 a month for 3 months. So yeah, keep going. That's right. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah. And I liked the point of like reaching out to local brands as well. Somebody else said that, and I've said that before. Like, if you feel like you're too small right now for a big brand, then find somebody that's actually in your wheelhouse, because oftentimes we only think of the biggest fish. Like, sometimes you got to catch the bait before you actually catch the fish. So go find something smaller, nail it, and then you're way more likely to get the attention of a bigger brand later on down the road.
That's right.
Yep.
Kind of going along those same lines is we have Emmy Vlogs, who ask, do you need to have a certain number of subscribers to get money? What is the easiest way to earn money without a lot of subscribers? And how do you get at 1,000? How much do you get at 1,000 subscribers? How do you get sponsors? A lot of questions in there. Let's tackle one of them at a time. Do you need to have a certain number of subscribers to get money?
No.
No, you can have 0 and get money. Not through the partner program, but how will you guys share some ideas you guys have?
Well, I think we were already starting to talk about some of them earlier. We were talking about channel. Well, actually, you have to have a certain amount of followers for channel memberships, don't you? But there's still Patreon. You can start to grow your community there. If you have a way of not just delivering value, but also capturing value, money isn't just made within YouTube. Money is made, way more money is made outside of YouTube, outside of ad revenue. And that can come through products. It can come through, that's how we make most of our income for video creators is, all through product services and the things that we offer for you guys to help you grow your platform. So it's really just having a strategy on, whenever as you're giving value and people come for that value, learning how to call that capturing the value. And you put all this out, now they want to take the next step with you. So are you ready to take the next step with them? And you don't have to have subscribers to do that. You can have that set up and ready to go so that whenever that one viewer comes to that one video, they decide, oh yes, this is for me. And I want to pursue this deeper, whatever value you're offering.
Yep. So then, Lennon, what's the easiest way to earn money without a lot of subscribers? What did you say? The word easiest is what I think they're going after there.
Yeah. So the first thing you have to have is it's never going to be super easy. But the two things that I would say you could do are ads and affiliates, which is like good if you I heard it this way: if you like to throw a party but you don't like to sell, you can do your ads and affiliates where it's like, here's an affiliate link to a product that I like, right? So that's kind of a simple way to make money. You probably aren't going to make a lot of money that way, to be honest, especially in the beginning with a small following. But then your biggest chunk to make early out of the gate is services, which is like coaching or consulting and things like that. Anything one-on-one based where you can charge more of a premium cost for somebody to get your opinion or have you coach or help them through something.
Yep, I would say that's exactly right, because then you also get the advantage of getting to know your potential customer more intimately that way, and you get to hear their stories, you get to talk with them, and that'll help you later make a better product. I think if you want to make the quickest money, that's the way to go. I think if you want to make the most money, developing a business around your channel where people subscribe for a certain value, and then you deliver 1x that value through free content like we're doing right now, through podcasts and live streams and free videos. But then you deliver like 100x that value in a format people are willing to pay for. And it could be courses, it could be consultations, it could be some sort of service that, like when we're working, Len and Delana work with our high level clients who are one-on-one strategy over a longer term basis and things. So it could be that kind of thing, but it doesn't have to be. It could just whatever the value is that you want to deliver part of it through your free content and then sell that same value. That's where you'll make the most money. But sometimes setting up those services and products do take a little bit of time. So like Lennon said, it's not really easy, and none of it's really easy. Money just always takes work because people give you money because it's a value exchange. And so you have to deliver good value to someone in order to make money, whether that be directly to your viewer, which is what we primarily focus on, or you're to an advertiser or to someone. And to create good value, like that takes time. That's just there's not an easy switch for that. How much do you get at 1,000 subscribers? If you're talking about once you join the partner program, you're eligible with your 4,000 hours of watch time and your 1,000 subscribers on your channel. think you're going to be very disappointed in how much money you're going to be making if you're banking on the partner program at that point. So, but it varies very significantly for a lot of different people. I used the example before, but I'll use it again. One guy who had 3,000 subscribers on his channel, making $2 million a year, as an insurance agent who was reviewing and selling insurance policies through a link in the description. So you could make a lot that way with a small audience, or I know people who have millions. In fact, I just did a session consultation with someone a few weeks ago who had almost 1 million subscribers, and they were making less than $1,000 a month. So from ad revenue. So it's just really so many variables involved. It's not an easy this is how much YouTube pays you for these many subscribers or views or anything right now.
Yeah.
Beck Bro Jack came late to this. I'm not sure if the topic has been talked about, but I was wondering, what is the best strategies? What are the best strategies for selling products to fans in a way that doesn't feel forced into content and is organic? What, you don't want to do a Logan Paul thing, guys? Where you're just like, merch, buy my merch. Oh, okay. Someone wants to be more tactful. To be clear, though, I think it does work pretty well for Logan, but that's a different story. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I'm waiting for this to see if Lennon's going to talk.
Well, I'll talk. I'm good at talking.
Lennon's
whether or not it'll be on topic, that's another question. So how do you be tactful? What I hear you saying is how do you organically try to sell something? Is that the question in a nutshell?
I think he's I just don't want to feel like I'm making a video about this thing, and all of a sudden takes this hard right turn. You're like, buy my thing, blah, blah. And then you go right back to, and people are like, what the heck was that? Was that just a commercial? What are you trying to do? I think so he doesn't want to, the relationship with the audience, he doesn't want to sacrifice that for the sake of selling.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good gut instinct, to be honest, because here's the truth. If you believe in what you have to offer, it's not selling. That's just straight up number one. You're offering a service to somebody, and you have to start to feel like it's that. This is a personal thing that I'm constantly struggling with too. How do we make sure that we are so confident in what we're offering to somebody that we just know we need to give this to someone because it's going to be helpful to them. So if you're not thinking how does this actually serve somebody first, it'll be hard to sell forever. But then you just have to be strategic. So we talk a lot about making specific content for sales. And so designing and implementing your product, whatever that is, into the video to make sure that whatever the video is about aligns with that product so that it is seamless. So you can say, now that you understand this idea, this product coincides and marries with that really well, and I know that this is going to be helpful to you. So then it just goes back to this idea of this is a service to you, and I truly believe it, and we want to make sure we offer that to you. So I don't know. Hopefully that answers the question, but that's my first thoughts.
I don't know, Beck Bro Jack, if you said you came in late, but we've already kind of pitched a few things that you could buy from us in the last 40 minutes or so. And none of it being a hard sell, but more of hey, if you're getting good value here and you want more, you can jump into a one-on-one consultation with us at videocreators.com/consulting. Or you could get 30 days to a better YouTube channel if you want to go through a process that's designed to optimize your channel for growth. You could have I mentioned anything else? I don't know. I think I mentioned that we work with creators on an ongoing basis.
High level,
at doing all their strategy for them and things like that. I'm trying to think back on anything else they weren't really pitches. It was kind of
it was just kind of facts.
Yeah, it was we're not trying to push you guys into a corner and give us all your money. It's we hope this is giving you everything that you wanted and needed in order for why you're here, which is how do I make more money faster? But if you want other ways to do that besides just this podcast or this live stream, then here's some other ways.
Yeah, I think what Lennon said is really important is like you have to genuinely believe in the product. Like you have to genuinely believe that this is something that is valuable and making sure that it's just a good fit for you and what you do on your channel and that it's not going to feel left field for the kind of content that you create, you know? But like whenever I talk about Video Labs to a creator, I never feel like I'm selling them on it because it's something that I feel so genuinely like I only recommend it to people that I genuinely feel it would be helpful in what they're doing. And that is a majority of the creators that we speak with. You know, it's not everyone, but it is the majority of them. And so whenever I talk to them about, I never feel like I'm selling them on it. I feel like this is something that I genuinely feel would be good for your channel because we know that it works. And so that's, I feel, is really the key piece in not feeling like a slimy sales weird pitch. Or you could just do it the way Binging with Babish does it, where he creates a whole like romance with the product. He created this video where it was like this espresso machine and then he put it in, like he would like cut away to it and he had him like on the beach chair and the espresso machine was like on a beach chair and he was like having coffee with it. Yeah, anyways, but I think believing in your product is so important.
You sell way differently when you're like, hey guys, I'm trying to take your money.
Yeah.
So versus like, no, if this is what you want, you need this thing. It's going to change your life. It's going to impact your future. It's going to help you go from A to B. Is going to help you overcome this challenge or this roadblock that you're facing, or like you get more like excited, like guys, come on, this is what you need, which is kind of how I feel about Video Labs most of the time. So yeah, you sell it way differently because of that. Welcome to Chickenlandia. It says, I feel like all my value is delivered for free on YouTube. I'm having a challenge creating content that I feel is so different that people should pay for it. Thoughts? I think we've talked about this kind of in previous episodes, but what comes to mind for you guys?
Delana, you get to lead out this time.
Well, my first thought is that it is hard with, you know, something like with what Chickenlandia does, because Dahlia is her name, by the way. And there's a lot of product. It's kind of like I feel the next step would be to offer them product, because she said even in the feed, this chicken feed will change their life. But what about, maybe you're walking them through a lot of things on your channel, but what about those people that actually, like, maybe they want a design plan for their chicken coop or something like that, you know, something that would maybe be boring entertainment on your YouTube channel, but there are people that are coming to your channel and they do want to take that next step and they do want that in-depth help. Could you do something like that, like design a chicken coop for them? Maybe that could even be a service that you offer, like you give me the dimensions and pictures of your space and I'll kind of like draw how you could set up your chicken coop. Or I think it's just what is really fully understanding and recognizing your target audience and what their needs are, and then starting to branch some of those. Like, why are they coming to your channel? Okay, how can I optimize on that even better? So those are kind of just my off the cuff thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think too, like the big thing is we give so much of the same information away for free, but people are paying for a process. Yeah. And I think they're paying for a connection to you, Dahlia. Like, and this goes for everybody. Like, they want to learn it from you. They're looking for somebody to hold their hand and say, they're asking, am I going to do this right in some way, shape, or form? And when you can offer that, that's really valuable to people, because they need that security of, you know, you're the master of this. You're my leader in this situation. You're my guide. So help me, walk me through it, so that I know that I'm making the right decisions in the right order.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the way I think about it. Is we give you a lot of information for free. I don't give you everything, because there's some things, like, just to be totally honest, it's like, if I went into the weeds with you here and how the algorithm works, and how to target homepage, search, suggested, things like that. That type of information actually requires a lot of foundational information first. So if you really want to know how the algorithm works, you can't really just jump right into that and solve all that in 1 hour. It takes a lot of preliminary information, understanding how other systems work before you get there. Otherwise, if you get straight to here's how the algorithm works, you end up at all these crazy conclusions and all these weird ideas of how this thing is supposed to work. So we do sell that information as part of Video Labs, but you get it in Video Labs because we can work through a process with you to get to that point where now this information is actually helpful and steers you down the right path, as opposed to you kind of coming up with some ideas based on what the algorithm does, and now you think this thing's going to work, but it really won't. And so we give you guys, but even with that aside, we still give you a lot of free information that we think is some of our best information. But then what you guys are paying for as part of Video Labs is the process. So, Dolly, I know you went through Video Labs, so you understand that. I think that for you, it's like what it's Delana said, which is like, hey guys, you learn a lot about chickens here. But if you are starting, like my family, I think chickens is on our radar for next year, as I've told you. We need to start at the very beginning. Give us the process. Give us the step by step. Okay, here's where you find your chickens. Here's what you should expect to pay for them. Here's what you need to have ready when they first arrive. Here's how you build that thing. Here's how you, I need a step by step 1, 2, 3, 4 process to make me feel confident that I'm doing the right things. I didn't miss anything to get ready for our chickens whenever we get them next year. So that's the thing that you probably aren't doing on YouTube that you could absolutely sell if someone like me who's getting started with chickens is your target audience. So hopefully that makes sense. You guys, we would love to work with you. If you guys feel like, hey, I'm going to do the pitch again. Look, hopefully it doesn't sound like selling. I didn't even plan to do this, but videocreators.com/consulting. We're kind of like our own self-sponsor. So we don't have to go from one sponsor to another sponsor for one deal to another deal just to kind of make ends meet. That's another thing I really like about having your own business and your own products and service is that you can deliver value for free that's aligned with the value that you sell. And you're not dependent on next big deal to come or the next one fell through. And now you don't know how you're going to make payroll for the next 3 months or whatever. I mean, there's still ups and downs with it. I'm not saying it solves all those problems because everyone could get a virus and the economy could collapse. So there's other things too, but I don't think that's
that never happened.
I think that's not. I think it is hitting way more industries than just ours. So that's probably a bigger picture thing. But you get the idea. I like having control over the monetization structure there. So. If you guys want to talk with Lennon, Delana, or myself in a one-on-one session and really help you guys get the next steps you need mapped out for growing your channel, more views, more subscribers, turning this into a business, videocreators.com/consulting. We'd love to talk with you guys and dive in with you there. So you'll find links to all the stories that we talked about, to all the channels and the creators stuff in the show notes here. And so make sure you guys go check them out. And we will see you guys again next week for another Video Creators podcast episode. See you guys then.